how starting a small business changed my life and how it can change yours too. I started my small business back in 2021 at the end of July. It was like right after my birthday. I think I turned 20 years old and I was so scared and nervous about starting my small business, but I knew that I wanted to start a business. I knew that this was a path for me, and I like never dreamed of going to college. First of all, I was not a school person at all. So if you're in a similar situation, then definitely listen to what I have to say. I used to watch other girl boss entrepreneurs on YouTube and I loved watching their videos. I used to watch them do the how I ship out my orders videos and like inventory tours. I absolutely loved it, and I was like, I want that for myself. Like, I want to have my own little like inventory on hand, shipping out orders. It just sounded fun to me. And one thing about me is when I like something, I'm gonna go for it. And when I go for something, I really go hard and I make sure that I do it the right way. So this is when I started saving up money. I had a job. I was working at Five Below, and I also was in college and I was getting money from there. So I was just basically saving up my funds, y'all, because I know like starting a business takes money. And I punched fear in the face and invested in myself for the first time ever in my life. Like, I'm talking about like a big investment, like almost $7,000 type of investment. And you guys might be like, oh my gosh, $7,000, that's a lot of money. But guess what? My business reached 6 figures from that 7K in less than a year. So I really flipped my money really quick. And on this channel, I'm always talking about how to start a business, how I started my business, but I'm never talking about how it actually changed my life. A lot of things I'm doing, I would not even be doing right now if it were not for my small business. And YouTube is one of them. Like, I would not be sitting behind this camera recording because like at first I always wanted to start a YouTube channel, but I never had the confidence to actually start one. But having a business actually gave me that confidence because now I had something to film. I had something interesting to talk about, and I actually had something to teach people. I had value to give to the platform, and I had knowledge that other people needed. I literally feel like a different person than I was before I started my business. And like having a business, I literally grew so much as an individual, and I've learned so much, and I've taught myself a lot of stuff because these things that I learned from my business, I didn't learn in college. I taught myself through YouTube, through Google, through ebooks, whatever I did, and purchased online courses. And starting a business really helped me shape my mindset and learn that this takes a lot of self-discipline. Like, not just anybody can start a business. And if you're somebody who hasn't started your business yet, listen up because I got all the tips for you. But I used to be a shy girl who only had dreams of starting a business, starting a YouTube channel, but I had no confidence to actually execute those dreams. And I find myself constantly coming up with excuses of why I wasn't able to start my business now. Oh, I need to wait on this. I need to wait on this. But you guys, at the end of the day, there's never going to be a correct time to actually start. You just have to set a launch date, actually set a launch date, and just plan for that launch day. Like, you can, and even when you launch, when I launched, everything wasn't perfect. I just had to go ahead and just launch. But when you give yourself a launch date, you're saying, this is my deadline. But if you don't give yourself a deadline, you're going to continue to procrastinate, and it's just only going to waste more time that you really don't have. So before starting my business, I was a manager at Five Below, and it was my first job and my only job that I've ever had in my life. After I quit Five Below, I have been a full-time entrepreneur ever since then. And it's been a really long journey since then. At least it feels like it. I mean, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. So yeah, almost a full-time entrepreneur for 4 years. And I've learned a lot over these 4 years. I didn't actually intend on staying in college for 8 years or anything like that. I just felt like, I don't know, I just felt like I could do a lot more for myself quicker than those 8 years. But also, like, why am I paying to learn things that I don't think will actually be useful in my life? I just felt like that wasn't the path for me. I wasn't going to school to be a doctor or anything actually like amazing. So entrepreneurship was just always inside of me. So usually when you have something that's inside of you and you know that you really want to do it, you know that you really enjoy doing something, you should always go for what your heart desires. You should never go for what other people are telling you to do, like your mom, your dad, your grandparents. Even if they came to America as an immigrant, whatever the reason is, oh my gosh, like, you're in America, you can go to college, like, take advantage of that. Like, no, forget what they're saying. You have to focus on you. I see so many people where immigrant parents, like, they really pressure their kids and they're like, hey, we sacrificed our life to bring you here. Like, they want you to come here, be a doctor or be something, but they don't understand. Sometimes going the entrepreneurship route is way better for their kids, but they don't see it. And I see so many people, like, I watch Uzma and Lena. I love watching Uzma and Lena, and their parents are immigrants, and they really pressure their daughters to go to school, and they weren't very good at school. It kind of reminds me of myself, but I really don't enjoy doing school. And they have like a similar story, so that's why I really like to watch them. And then look at them, they're very successful now, and they're young entrepreneurs. They do Airbnb. And that just goes to show that it's way better to follow what you want to do versus what someone else wants you to do. If someone else wants you to do something, you're not going to be as good at it as if you want to do it yourself. But having a job, going to college, all of it really felt so meaningless to me because it's not something that I wanted to do. Like I wasn't into it at all. So I really say if you're not into it, don't do it. Like just find something else that works for you. Entrepreneurship is an amazing thing if you really lock in and actually put your mind to it. Content creation now, these are things people didn't have back then. Back then, yeah, you needed to go to college. There was no such thing as internet, no such thing as content creation and being able to make money online. Personally, I would rather make money from my home for the rest of my life than to go outside and retire at 65 or whatever age people retire. I would rather be able to create content from anywhere in the world because that gives me freedom to travel anywhere in the world. Now, what you guys came to the video for is how starting a small business actually changed my life. So firstly, all of the new skills that I've acquired, if it weren't for my business, I would not have most of these skills. I have live hosting skills, which I learned on TikTok. I have editing skills, which I learned from my YouTube channel, which I would not have if it weren't for my business. I've learned selling skills like no other. You guys, like literally when I was on TikTok live, I'm like literally I can sell water to a fish. I would literally get so much inventory in and in the same night it's all sold out and I had people pre-ordering. I've also learned website building skills, which is amazing because now that is a hobby of mine that I actually have monetized. While I have you guys, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button and let's continue. And I have a lot of people who book me to do their websites and I really learned all of this from doing my own website. I've learned marketing, things that people go to college for. You don't have to go to college. Literally teach yourself from YouTube. It's free. I've also learned content creation, something that you also cannot learn in college, but something that I was interested in learning. And one of those things about content creation is you can literally make millions of dollars from this per year. The creator industry is $1 billion industry, and that's something that I want to be a part of, okay? Because it's easy money, and I wouldn't say it's easy money. I will say that after you work super, super hard and you get to that point where it's easy money. But at first, it's not easy money. Like you actually have to work hard to get to the point where your accounts are actually generating easy money for you. I've learned public speaking. Let me tell you guys how I was. Like when I first started YouTube, oh my gosh, you guys, it was so embarrassing. Like I would literally get secondhand embarrassment from myself while I'm recording. I'm like, bro, I sound so dumb with that. Like I'm like not even looking at I don't know, like it's just I was super shy behind the camera. Nobody's even in front. But anyways, I took a public speaking class in college and I was not learning what I needed to learn. After that class, I still didn't have the public speaking skills that I actually needed. But this is something that I learned because of my business. If you don't have public speaking skills, you can't really go live. And in order to bring a lot of awareness to my business, I needed to go live. So I had to just like get into that cringe, get into that uncomfortability and just like go live and actually just start talking to people. Yo, it was crazy. Like sometimes I think about it and I'm like, I still can't believe I did that. Another skill that I've acquired is accounting because once you have a business, guess what? You have to do your business taxes. I mean, you can always pay someone to do your business taxes, but also you have to learn accounting because you're going to have to like track your stuff in QuickBooks. The second way having a business has changed my life is literally the confidence that it has given me. Like if it weren't for my business, the confidence I have now, I would not have. I used to hate at school when you have to like go in front of the class and present something to people. Like, oh my gosh, like my stomach would start hurting and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm one of those people that you see in a movie and you see them go throw up before they have to give a speech because that was me. I used to literally be so nervous, like, oh my gosh, like I have to present this in front of the whole class. Like I'm so nervous. Like that was me, y'all. And I tried to hide it so well, but sometimes it was hard to hide. Like you can see the nervousness on my face. But when you have a small business, you have to learn confidence. You have to like gain your confidence somehow because guess what? You have to build a connection with audiences. You have to actually talk to people. People want to know who you are. People want to see the face behind the brand. So you have to gonna build up that confidence, show yourself, go live, talk to people, and just get out of your comfort zone. The third way my business has changed my life is the financial aspect of my life. If it were not for my business, so many opportunities that I'm even getting right now would not be possible. I am so grateful. Like seriously, there's so many trips that I have been able to take because of my business. Like my business paid for it. And it's just like, I would not have been able to do this stuff if it weren't for that. And don't even get me started on all the online shopping that my business has sponsored. My business has paid for, guys, reinventing glamour. Yes. And then the fact that I do YouTube now is just awesome because now I get so many sponsorships. Like I have so many people in my email inbox all the time, like looking to sponsor my YouTube videos. And you guys, they actually pay really good money. I'm not allowed to actually talk about specifically how much a sponsor pays me, but I will do a video on how much you guys can expect to get from a sponsor according to your views and things like that, or how much you guys should actually charge. But my business has made it possible for me to actually make money doing content creation. And I would not have been a content creator if it wasn't for my business. Exactly. The fourth way my business has literally changed my life, I'm able to be way more flexible with my time if it were not for my business. Like let me just tell you about like when I worked at Five Below. It's the only job I've ever had, but I can't even imagine if I worked at an actual 9-to-5 job where like you have to actually commit to the company and things like that. Five Below is just like a little retail job. It's not like actual like an engineering company or something serious. But when I worked there, I was not able to be flexible with my time. Like when I think about it now, there was literally trips that my family has taken without me because I wasn't off. But having a business, being an entrepreneur gives you that flexibility, and it has given me so much flexibility to the point that I'm able to take a trip whenever I want. But it's like I have so much more time to actually focus on my religion, focus on my family, and focus on other ultimate goals that I have. Because guess what? Like when you're working on a 9-to-5 jobs, that's not your ultimate goal. And a lot of times, like you don't have the time to actually focus on other things because you are stuck in a schedule and you are stuck with, I don't know, 8-9 hours a day. And I was working a lot of days there, like literally, sometimes it was 7 days, sometimes it was 6. Rarely was it ever like a few days a week. So y'all, it took a lot of my time. The fifth way that my business has changed my life, I have more freedom because I work for myself. I used to have to tell someone, oh, I want to go on vacation, you know, like where you have to actually ask someone, ask for permission. Where's the freedom in that? I don't like that. Even if you go to college for 8-12 years and you're working, you still have to ask someone for permission. I never liked that. I'm like, if I can spend that 8 years working on something, building something for myself, I would rather do that because that's what I'm passionate about. The sixth way that my business has changed my life, I am literally able to spend so much time with my baby, and I would not be able to spend this time with her if it weren't for me having my own business. Like, I do not wish to put my baby in daycare. I would never want her to go to daycare. I see so many videos on TikTok, and the daycare workers sometimes are just not the best. And nobody can raise your child as good as you can raise them. So I'd rather raise my own daughter. But it's just super convenient to actually be able to raise your own kids and stay at home, and that's one thing that my business has given me. The seventh way that my business has changed my life is my social circle has really shrunk a lot, okay? Like I used to have so many friends before I started my business, but once I started it, it's weird. Like you will notice like a lot of your friends just start like falling off. You just start falling off with them, and I think it's because we're on different paths in life. You have some friends that are more on the college route, and then you have me, I'm more on the entrepreneur route. It's hard to relate. It's really hard to relate because like if you guys are both in college, you can really relate to a lot of stuff, but if you guys are both entrepreneurs, you can really relate to a lot of stuff. That's why like now I'm looking for like entrepreneur friends. Aside from my real life social circle shrinking, I have noticed that my online circle has really increased because now I run a small business support group. So I have a lot of little small business friends, and like even on TikTok, I have a lot of small business friends, and this is how it happens. Like literally when you're an entrepreneur, you're going to grow a lot of stranger friends. All the people that you went to school with, they're most likely going to fall off with you, and you're going to end up having a lot of stranger people as friends. The eighth way my business has changed my life, it has literally opened so many opportunities for me that I wouldn't have. And I kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, but opportunities that I wouldn't have, such as YouTube monetization. I don't think I would even be monetized on YouTube if it weren't for my business, because like, what do I talk about on my YouTube channel? My business. And aside from YouTube monetization, the sponsorships, TikTok sponsorships and things like that, even my TikTok account, like I have sponsorships over there. Over there, what do I post? I post business product videos. So at the end of the day, all of these content creator platforms that I'm monetized on is due to my business. The ninth way that my business has changed my life is having a huge mindset shift. Like before having a business, I would spend my money on literally the dumbest things that you can ever think of. I would go on eBay and try to look for vintage items that literally I would never even use. I don't know. It just like was a hobby to buy vintage items. It was even a hobby of mine to buy vintage money. I don't know, y'all. I had the weirdest little hobbies ever, but I still kind of am into that. But one of the mindset shifts I really had was knowing the value of money. Like before then, I didn't really know the value of money. But I no longer was spending money on useless things that didn't make me more money. It's like when you become an entrepreneur, when you become a business owner, your mindset is so different. Like when you think of buying something, you're thinking, is this going to make me more money? Especially because like now your money is most likely coming from your business. So if it's coming from your business, you need to reinvest that money into where? Your business. You don't want to like take money from your business and start spending it on silly things, silly personal things that you don't actually need. Another mindset shift that I had was not watching so much TV, not like basically wasting a lot of my time doing unproductive things that aren't going to scale my business, things that aren't going to help my future. And yeah, that was a huge mindset shift for me because I used to like literally waste so much time watching TV and just sitting around doing useless nonsense. And the 10th way that my business has changed my life is me learning self-discipline. I learned how to stay consistent, and this is such a struggle for like so many people, staying consistent. When you do something, be consistent. Just do it every single day. That was very hard, but it's like you kind of build a habit because you know that if you don't post every single day for your business, it's going to impact your sales. So you have to be consistent. You don't really have a choice. I had to learn how to discipline myself and actually staying productive. And I learned how to continue to keep going hard for my business, even when things seemed hard, because there's always challenges that you're going to face. There's always times where you're going to feel like, is this even worth it? But at the end of the day, when you really work hard to build something for yourself, it's going to be worth it in the end, even if it's really hard in the beginning. Everybody has to start from somewhere. Everybody starts from zero, and I started from zero. And look at where my YouTube channel is even now. I'm like literally coming up on 15,000 subscribers, which I can't believe it. It's really crazy to say that because 15,000 subscribers. Wow. I was literally at 1,000 subscribers like literally last year. Was it? Yeah, the beginning of last year, I was at 1,000 subscribers. That's a lot of people. And I really hope that one day you guys can have the courage to start your own business. And if you already have a business, then go girl, keep going, even if it seems tough right now. And if you guys are struggling to learn how to grow your business, I have videos on my channel. I actually just posted one on how to grow a small business fast with $0. I'm talking about like no ad spend, don't do ads, none of that. But if you don't already have a business, start the business. I highly recommend. It is like one of the most beautiful journeys that you can ever have. It is something that you're doing for yourself. You're investing in yourself. And not a lot of people will do this for themselves. People would rather spend their money on nonsense. They would rather spend their money on a Louis Vuitton bag than to actually invest in themselves. So look, if you're somebody who's willing to spend thousands to invest in yourself, go girl. But you don't even need that much to invest in yourself. You can start off with $100 with a business. Technically, it will take you a lot longer to scale if you start off with such a small amount. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you leave a thumbs up and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.